keep going back to Carson Schwesinger. I feel like he's never been on the board when we drafted. He's never been on the board. If you're trying to get a difference maker at the linebacker spot, I feel like he is the ideal guy. We always tend to draft, and we do like some of the guys that are later in the draft.
Yeah.
Obviously, we talk about those guys at a nauseam pace, but I just think I look at him and I say this guy's a difference maker at the linebacker spot, especially if you're trying to prepare for life after Jermaine Pratt. Pair Logan Wilson up with a guy that he can learn from, a guy that can do pretty much everything that you ask him to do out there, what you're going to be asking linebackers to do if you're outvoted. I feel like it makes a lot of sense. Do I think the Bengals do that? No, but we're not operating how the Bengals would do. I feel like I feel like this is a pick.
I do think before Daniel goes, I know he likes him a lot. I do think it's a fun experiment to roll with the linebacker here, like Carson Schwesinger. I think he's worthy of a top 50 pick. Absolutely. Well, I think it's certainly in the realm of possibility for the Bengals to do one as well. Now, if they drafted one in the second, they probably wouldn't have took a safety in the first necessarily, but they still could. Like yes, we want pass rushers. Yes, we want defensive line help, but there's still plenty of ways to fix a defense. Like as much as it points to the obvious, let's get these. Like a good linebacker and a good safety solve a lot of problems. Like they really just do. He's a good football player. Obviously, the 1 year of play is really the only holdup, but it was a damn good year of play. You know what I mean? So that's a thing. I think in terms of being a good player, he's worthy of a top 50 pick and just being something different. I think it is something to consider here.
Yeah, I totally think he's worthy of top 50 pick, and I think with him, the concern is like the 1 year of play, and he's a little bit lighter when it comes to linebackers. Like at times, if he gets caught on a big 6'6" offensive lineman, he does struggle to kind of get off of that. But I think when you look at a guy that can immediately come in as a linebacker, he's one of the fastest linebackers in this class, one of the most athletic linebackers in this class. And while he didn't necessarily, wow me with his one-on-one coverage skills, I know I can immediately put him in, and him in the run game, his ability, his eyes, and how he's able to find the ball carrier, fit himself, between the holes. I'm a huge fan. And I think when we look at a draft, I can look at Malachi Starks and Carson both as potential day one starters. And guys, I say, hey, they are athletic, and they are guys that I can project for the next 4+ years, really building with this Bengals and being the core.
I think we kind of discount what having a very quality linebacker on your team, quality linebacker tandem can do for your team.
Yes.
Because we haven't had one in quite some time. But if you remember, they really do a lot of the cleanup work, a lot of the dirty work. I remember there was one point in time where the Bengals had a Ray Malaluga, right? And they had a Vontez Burfict, and those guys were just flying around the ball. Even Vinny Ray gave us a couple of good years in there. But if you have competent linebackers, one linebacker unit of a team that I'm always mesmerized by, 49ers. Yeah. Obviously, they've been rippled with injuries the last few years, but Fred Warner, how much of a difference maker is that guy? He off-ball linebacker. This guy is just absolutely flying around there like a bat out of the hell. He is a true leader for that defense. He honestly, he's one of those linebackers that strikes fear in opposing offenses. Roquan Smith, albeit he's a little dirty of a player, but he's a difference maker at the linebacker spot. And I feel like drafting a quality linebacker, I'm not saying Carson Schwesinger is going to be that guy, but what I'm just saying is I do think he offers the athleticism, the tackling. I think he offers everything that you would look for in a linebacker. And I feel like if it's not him at this spot, I'm okay with that. I'm just saying that I do think that we sometimes punt on that position because we haven't had that.
Because it's so hard to find these guys who have the athleticism to carry it up the seam and cover a vertical on Tampa 2. Like, it's tough to have a guy who can then click and close and get all the way to the outside shallow zones and get to the boundary and cover those swing routes on running backs. It can be tough to get a guy who can do both of those things and also hold up against the run. And so it's like, that's a really hard ask. So I think it might be kind of a platoon thing.
While we're here, and I'm being genuine, I asked this question to you three. Do we think Jihaad Campbell is that?
I think Jihaad Campbell is, if you didn't have the injury history, I would say he's what people want Jalen Walker to be, because I think he is more explosive. I think he has more production. I think he has better film. And I think he also has a lower experience level at off-ball linebacker to where he's young and he basically came in as an edge and got moved to off-ball linebacker. So you can see he has the athleticism to hit a lot of areas. It's more the instincts and the feel for zones and in space. That is what's slow. It's closing slow. That stuff you can coach. Whereas Jalen Walker, I can't coach you to be faster. I can't coach you to bend around the edge. I can't coach you to have the athleticism that Jihaad Campbell does.
So let me. He wasn't on the board. He's never been on the board when we picked him.
Yeah.
Let me just throw it out there. He's never been on the board. But if you put yourself in the Bengals front office, serious guys here, would y'all actually consider drafting, or would you? Do you think he's that? If he's on the board, run to the podium.
No.
For sake, every other position that was on
Jihaad
the board,
Campbell at 17. If he had a completely clean medical, maybe I would say maybe because he solves a potential need at linebacker and edge for you, to where you get the pass rush you need. Sure, he's not going to be there on rundowns. That's not why we need you. We need you to be a versatile chess piece that we can blitz to throw people off, and he's very successful in that sense. And then you also need to be able to cover with athleticism, because the Bengals need athleticism at linebacker. Logan Wilson, a great mentor for him to help him with the cerebral stuff. Again, this is clean bill of health saying, yeah, I get a guy who was a great pass rusher at Alabama, but also is developing as a linebacker with the athleticism to do everything we want a linebacker to do on the field. And he plays violent and downhill. Yeah, for sure.